Games have multiple areas the player can advance and develop in. Sometimes these areas consist of different environmental and lighting properties. Some creators may want to highlight the location a player is in, as it is necessary to their progression. But how do you make a system that notifies the player they've entered a new location? To start off, make sure you have your own GUI that can be used as a display for the name of the location, as well as a short description for it if you like. In this screen GUI, I have two text labels, one for the description and one for the location name. Next, let's make a folder in Workspace called Location Notifiers. And within this folder, make flat parts and make sure they are high up within the sky. For testing purposes, I won't place them up too high. And now make sure you put these within the folder. And make sure that these parts are can query enabled as well as the location's name. So for instance, I have a part and I want to have a location called home. I also want another location called outside. Create a module script that contains a table of all locations and their descriptions within the starter's character scripts. I'm going to name it area data, as well as the name of the module. Within area data, include the names of your locations and a short description that you would like it to have. So for instance, I have two locations being home and outside. Now make a local script in the starter character scripts. And before we do anything with the script, make sure you move area data within this script so that it is parented to the area data. And let's name this script the location handler. Within our location handler script, let's make a few variables. Now let's include variables for our GUIs as well. Next, let's use Raycasting to determine where the player is. We're using this to create a whitelist for whatever parts we want to indicate. And in this case, we want to only indicate the location notifiers. Next, make some variables for the player's current location. And make another variable for where the player is and what we want to make an animation for. Now let's make a run service function using the render stepped function. And let's actually create a raycast now with an origin of the head. Let's start the origin one stud above the head. And create a direction that faces upward. Now let's create the ray. Input the origin, direction, and the raycast parameters. Next, let's check if our array has hit anything, and if it hasn't, return the function. Now let's check if our current location is equal to a new one. Now let's use our table that we have made to determine whether our player has entered multiple locations at a single time. And now outside of this if statement, let's table.insert the new location. Now let's actually animate our text appearing in and out by creating a spawn function. Inside of it, let's create a true loop and an if condition. And change the description to your desired description by using the area data module. Now let's create the tween. display this tween. Let's copy and paste this down here and change this to description. Now let's copy paste this section, and afterwards add a task.wait. I will be using 2 seconds, as after 2 seconds I want my GUI to disappear. And now change the zeros to 1. Now task.wait1 and remove the locations from your table. Now make sure you add an else. Otherwise, your game will crash. And now let's test it. As you can see, it displays our current location down here, as well as the short description that we would like.